Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be playing another game of Aeon's End, and we're going up against the nemesis from the wave 1 of content. It's called the Carapace Queen. It's an interesting nemesis. You also play with the husk track. Each husk is a minion that has 1 life, and when you deal damage to a husk, you can suffer 1 damage to distribute the damage that you deal over multiple husks. So there's a cost to trying to destroy multiple husks at a time. The market that we're going to be playing with, so I'll just run through the cards. So we have Jade, Sifter's Pearl, Recurring Jasper for the gems, and then the relics Ether Conduit, which came with the New Age wave of content. Link Conduit, also from the New Age wave. Essence Theft, that's from wave 1 content. Force Amplifier, Planar Insight, and Chaos Arc. So those are the market cards we're playing with. The 2 mages that we're going to be using, the first is Taqren, came with the New Age. Interesting special ability, focus any player's breach. Any player gains 1 life for each open breach that you have. And then the second is Sahala. The special ability, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Place a spell revealed this way into your hand. If there are no spells prepped to your Celestial Breach, prep up to 2 spells in hand to your opened Celestial Breach. And the Celestial Breach is number 4, so this one over here. And when you cast a spell from an open Celestial Breach, it does an additional 2 damage. So trying to get that open is quite important. Again, Taqren is going to be green, Sahala white, and we're going to, instead of a turn order deck, use the dice from a dice bag. The red, whenever we draw a red dice, it's the nemesis turn. White will be Sahala turn, and green will be Taqren. So I think that's everything for setup. And we put the market cards back. And I think we are good to start. So the first turn is going to be Taqren. Okay, so for this turn, I think I'm going to prep Gift of Spirit. That allows me to deal 1 damage, or any ally draws a card. And now I have 4 ether to spend. Unfortunately, we do have a... Sorry, that should be there. I think I'm going to buy a Force Amplifier. So that does 3 damage. If it was cast from an opened 3 or 4 breach, deal 1 additional damage. So I'll spend my 4 ether on that, and we'll draw back up to 5. The next turn is Sahala, so I'll prep that. I have 3 ether plus a Sparkling Meteorite, so the Sparkling Meteorite gives me 1 ether, or I can spend 3 that can only be used to focus or open a breach. So I think for this, I'm going to use it for ether, and I'm going to also buy a Force Amplifier. I think it's important to try and get the early damages as much as possible. So yeah, we have next turn then Nemesis. And it is an attack card. It's Carapace Queen's Swarms. So that means when there's 0 or 3 husks in play, place 4 husks into play. So that's not good. 2, 3, 4. That's that. Next turn, it's the Nemesis again. And it's another attack. Place a husk into play for each turn order card in the turn order discard pile. So there's 4, so that's another 4. That's not a good start. 3 and 4. And we have Taqren next. So I'm going to deal 1 damage and kill that husk. prep that, and I have another 4. And I think for this I want to I think I will buy I will buy a recurring Jasper. And we draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next turn then has to be Sahala. I will deal 1 damage to take out a husk, prep that, and spend these 3 to open this breach, and prep that, and then we draw back up 3, 4, 5. Next turn is Taqren. Another damage when I cast that. I'll prep that, and I have 4 here. I will buy a recurring Jasper as well. And we draw back up 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah. Next turn then, it's Sahala. So I'm going to cast these 2 sparks to kill 2 husks. I will prep that, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think for this I'm going to, so I could spend 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I will focus for 4. That's 4, and then I have 2 left, and I'll buy a charge with that. Or actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to buy another force amplifier for 4. And yeah, I'll draw back up to 5, 4, and 5. Next turn then, it's Sahala again. Okay. Okay, so I think here, I'll cast this and deal 3 damage, and I will take, I will do that to the Nemesis. I'll prep these 2 sparks, and I have 3 to spend. And for this, I think I'm going to, I will focus that breach. Yeah, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn then, Nemesis, and we have a minion. So Brood Womb, if there is at least 1 husk in play, prevent all damage dealt to this minion. Place a husk into play as a persistent effect. Oh, that's a tough one to get rid of. So, Nemesis turn, place a husk into play for the persistent effect, and then we have another, so Haze Spewer. It's a persistent effect. Greyfold suffers damage equal to this minion's current life. Then this minion suffers 1 damage. So that's has health of 5. And we have Taqren. So I'm going to cast this. Does 3 damage. And I'm going to do that to that minion. I have 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 to spend. I think for this I'm going to by an essence theft. And because the top card of my discard pile is a spell, I can place this one on top of my deck. Do I want to do that? 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would have 2, 4, 5, probably 6. I think I will. So I'll place that on top of my deck. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will have 6 next turn. That's the end of that round. Next round is Taqren again. We are going to I'll cast this, take 1 spark down, or 1 husk out, and then I have 2, 4, 5, 6 to spend. I think here I'm probably going to open this breach for 4 and buy a charge for 2. I'm going to keep the recurring Jasper. I'm not going to put it on top of my deck. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next turn is Taqren again. We are going to do another damage there by casting that. We prep the force amplifier and the essence theft, and we have 3 to spend. I think here I'm going to buy another charge for 2 and let the 1 go to waste. There's 1, 2, 3. So that's Taqren's turn over for this round. Next one is Nemesis. So we place a husk into play for this minion. Gravehold suffers 2 damage, down to 28, and then that suffers 1 damage. And then we unleash, which is place 2 husks into play. 1, 2. Any player suffers 3 damage and draws a card, so I'm going to give this damage to Sahala, 7, and they're going to draw a card. So they will have 6 cards to play next time their dice comes out. Made more sense than doing damage to Taqren. That should be a 10. Nemesis again, we place another husk into play. Gravehold suffers 1 damage and that minion dies. And we draw a power 3. The player with the most prep spells suffers 2 damage for each of their prep spells. Okay. So that's a power 3. And then we know Sahala is going to have 2 turns in a row. So I'm going to do cast the 2 sparks and do 2 damage. I'm going to prep those 2. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6. I think I'm going to spend 3 and 4 to focus that breach, and then I'm going to spend the remaining 2 to buy a charge. And then we draw back up 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next turn then has to be Sahala. So I will deal 1 damage. I think I will, I'll deal 1 damage using the spark. I will also cast that. I'll cast this first and deal 3 damage, and I will take 1 point of damage to my health to distribute it over multiple husks. So that's 3. Prep that and that, and I have 3 left. For this, I will focus that breach. Next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn goes to Sahala. So we will we'll cast that for 3 damage. I'll do that to the Nemesis. I'll cast this for 1 to take out a husk. Prep that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 6. So I'm going to 3, 4, 5. I'm going to spend 4 to focus this breach again, and then use the remaining 2 to buy a charge. And then next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Next is the Nemesis, so we place another husk into play for that. This goes to 2. We draw up. It's Needle Maw. Gravehold suffers 2 damage, and that has 11. So, tough start. And it is Sahala, so I'll cast the Spark, take out that, prep those 2, and I have 3 to spend. For this, I'm going to focus that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn then is Taqren. So now we're in an awkward spot here because we have these big spells but only 1 husk left. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I will cast these 2. So I'll cast Force Amplifier for 3 and take that down to 8. And then I will cast Essence Theft and take it down to 5. I may discard a card in hand. Do I want to? I won't discard a card in hand now. So I'll prep that. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 to spend. I think I'm going to buy I will focus this for 3 and buy a charge for 2. And draw back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is that. And the next turn goes to, it's Taqren again. So I think I will cast this, doing 1 damage. Prep that. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I will. I'll spend 2 for a charge. I will spend all 4 of those charges to focus this Celestial Breach for Sahala, and then any player gains 1 life for each open breach I have. I have 2 open breaches. I will give that to Sahala, which takes her to 8. So that was 2 spent. I have 3 left. And I think I'll buy a Sifter's Pearl. Put that there. Draw back up. 3, 4, 5. So we know it now. It has to be the Nemesis turn. Place a husk into play. This goes to 1. Gravehold suffers 2 damage. And we get Unleash twice. Any player suffers 2 damage. So We put 4 husks into play for the unleash twice. And we will give this damage to Taqren for 8. Next turn then, Taqren. So I think here we want to use the spark on the husk. We'll prep that and that. And then we have 4. So I'll play that for 2. If the top card of my discard pile is a spell, I can place that on top of my deck. So I think I will. So I have 2 ether, and then 2 more is 4. And I think for this I'm going to... I'll buy 2 charges with this. Discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn then. So the Nemesis, another husk. This gets resolved. The player with the most prep spells suffers 2 damage for each of their prep spells. So, that was 5. So I think I'll take Taqren down to 4. And then Gravehold suffers 2 damage, 23. And this is Venomite. The player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage, or any player discards a prep spell that costs 3 ether or more. So we go to, that goes 9. Next is Sahala. We have, we'll prep this for 3. And do that to this one. 9, 8, 7, 6. Where is it? 6. I'll cast that for 1. Track those 2. I'm going to open. I'm going to spend 3, 4 to open this breach. And actually, I'm going to prep Force Amplifier to that breach. And then I have 1 left, which I can't do anything with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn then. It's Sahala. Okay, so we have a Force Amplifier here. It does 3 damage plus 1 if it was cast from an opened 3 or 4 breach, which it is. So it will deal 4 damage plus 2 is 6. I'm going to do that to take out this. I'm going to cast that to take another spark. Prep that. And I have 4. I'm going to spend all 4 on 2 charges, which allows me to fill my charges. I'll spend them to reveal the top 3 cards of my deck. 2, 3. I can place a spell into hand. I should have not prepped that until I did this ability, so I won't do that. And then if there are no spells prepped to my Celestial Breach, prep up to 2 spells in hand to your open Celestial Breach. So I'll prep those 2. So that is that. We draw back up to 5, that's 4, and 1 is 5. Next turn is Taqren. So we will I will cast this for 3 and do 1 point of damage to me to distribute it over the multiple husks. 2, 3. I'm going to cast this for 3. Take that down to 2. I can discard a card in hand. I will discard a crystal, which gives me 1 life back. 4. Prep that. and then I have 2, 3, 4. I'm going to spend all 4 on 2 more charges. I'm going to spend those charges immediately to focus my breach 4. And then any player gains 1 life for each open breach I have. I have 2, I'll take me back up to 6. And yeah, that's his turn. 2, 5. And the last turn has to be then the Nemesis. So we place a husk into play. Gravehall suffers 2 damage. And we get Unleash twice. The player with the most prepped spells discards their most expensive prepped spell. Darn! So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Unleash twice. The player with the most expensive prep spell is Sahala. Discard that. That hurt a lot. Next turn is Sahala. So we'll cast this for 1 plus the 2 on damage on cast. I will do that to this guy. So 3. Take it down to 2. Prep that, and we have 3, 4. So I'll spend this to open this breach. I'm actually going to prep that there. And then I have 2 left, and I'm going to buy a charge with that. And we discard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn is Taqren. I will cast that for 1. And I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to buy a I'm going to buy a Planar Insight for 6. And then, because I played Sifter's Pearl, each player reveals the top card of their deck and either discards it or returns it to the top of their deck. So this is a Spark. I'm going to discard that. The top card of Sahala's deck is Force Amplifier. I'm not going to discard that. And then I will discard down. Discard those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn goes to Sahala. So I'm going to cast the Spark for 2, taking out Needle Maw. I'm going to cast the Force Amplifier, which does 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6, taking it to 48. And then I will prep that Spark there. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 to spend. And for this, I think I'm going to... I'm going to buy 2 charges. And the next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn is Nemesis. We place a husk into play. And it's a power 1. Gravehall suffers 3 damage, or any player discards a gem in hand. Repeat this 5 additional times. That is a very painful card. Very, very painful. Next is, oh no, Husk. This gets resolved. So we can, Taqren has 3 gems in hand. And Sahala has also 3, so I think I'm going to discard 3 for each of these, rather than take the 3 damage to Gravehold for each time. Next one is a power. Husks of 2 life. Damaged husks heal to full life at the end of each turn, immediately unleashed. So we place 2 husks into play. Carapace Queen swarms. It's a power 3. Not good. Taqren then. All I can do is prep those 2 and draw back up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn is Taqren again. So I think I'm going to have to deal 3. So I'll deal 3, take 1 point of damage. That does 2 and 1 damage to that. I'm going to also cast that for 3, take another point of damage. Takes me down to 4. That does 1, the remaining 1, and then 2 to that. I will prep that and that. And I have 2, 3, 4. What else is? What's next? I'm going to buy 2 charges. I'm going to need them. And the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn then, it's the Nemesis. This is not good. 2, and lose 4 charges to discard it. Carapace Queen swarms, unleash Carapace Queen swarms. Next is Sahala. We have a spark for 3. I will cast that for 3 and take out 1 spark or 1 prep that and that, and I don't have any other cards, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn is the Nemesis. This is 1 and that goes to 1. And we also have Carapace Queen swarms twice, or any player suffers 2 damage. So if it were to swarm now, any player discards a prep spell, place 2 husks into play, and then Gravehold suffers 5 damage. I think I will take... I'm going to take the damage to Sahala, so 4. Next is Taqren. So we have I will deal 2 plus 1, 2, so 4. I'll do that to the Nemesis. I will deal 1. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to take me down to 3 to do damage to multiple husks. So that takes out 2 husks. I'm gonna cast that for 1. 47. Prep that, and I have 2, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to spend 4 on 2 charges, and I'm going to lose 4 charges to discard that power. So that leaves me with 2 left, and I'm going to buy a charge. With Sifter's Pearl, each player can reveal the top card of their deck. I'm going to discard the crystal. And for Sahala, I'm going to discard the crystal. And that that's my turn. Next is... it's Sahala. Okay, so I think I will cast this for 3 plus 1 plus 2, so 6. I'm going to do that to the Nemesis, I think. And then I'm going to cast that for 2, which takes out a spark, or a husk. I'm going to spend 2 to get a 4th charge, and I'm going to immediately spend those charges to draw 3 cards from the top of my deck. And I do not have a spell, darn. But I can prep 2 spells to the opened Celestial Breach. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn is... it's Taqren. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will cast that for 1 damage. Prep and prep. And I have 3 here. And I think here I'm going to... I need another... I'm going to spend 2 on a charge, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next is Nemesis. I get a husk. This resolves. Unleash. Sorry, Carapace Queen swarms. So any player discards a prep spell, place 2 husks into play. So I'm going to discard this spark and place these 2 husks into play. And now we have immediately unleash twice, which gets 4 husks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Power 2, discard half of the husks in play, rounded up. Greyfall suffers 2 damage for each husk discarded this way. Carapace Queen swarms. So that's a power 2. The next is Sahala. So we have a force amplifier. I will cast that for 3 plus 1 plus 2 is 6. I think I'm going to take out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That take 1 point of health damage. 3. Prep that, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to buy a force amplifier. Next is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next turn goes to it's Sahala. Okay. So I will cast that for 3, and I'm going to, I think I have to try and start working on the, I have 3 left. I'm going to, I think I'm just going to buy a charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next is Nemesis, gets a husk. It goes to 1, and we maggot engine. It unleash 3 times, then set this minion's life equal to the number of husks in play. Persistent effect is swarm. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which puts 3 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9. So that minion has 9. So yeah, this is turning into a tough one. And the last is Taqren. So I think here I probably want to I'm going to cast both of these, so 3 damage. Do that to this minion, so take it to 6. And then I'll do another 3 to this minion, which takes it to 3. Prep. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to spend on 2 charges. Which immediately I'm going to spend to focus this breach. Yeah. And then recurring Jasper, if the top card of my discard is a spell, I can place this on top of my deck, which I'm going to do. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next is Taqren again. So at 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to cast this for 2. Plus 1, 2 is 4. I'm going to do that to the Nemesis 3. I'm going to cast this for 1, taking that to 2. And then I think I want to 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So I could charge up again. And I just realised when I used my charge ability, I didn't increase someone's health for each open breach I have, so I will take this up to 5. And then 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So with this 8, I think I'm going to spend all 8 on 4 more charges. So 1, 2, 3, 4, which I'm immediately going to spend to focus this breach. And then also give 2 health to Sahala. And because I played Sifter's Pearl, each player reveals the top card of their deck. I'm going to discard that crystal, and I'm going to discard that crystal, and that is that turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next turn then, it's the Nemesis. This unleashed twice. Okay, well, no, so discard half the husks in play. So we've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have discarding 5. And Gravefall suffers 2 damage for each husk. No, so that's down to 11. Carapace Queen swarms. So any player discards a prep spell, place 2 husks into play. Discard the spark and 2 more husks. That's that. Swarm. So Gravefall suffers 5 damage. This is not very good. Next jagged one, unleashed twice, is a persistent effect, and that has 14 health. So this is turning into a very bad outcome. So that's 14. Next is Taqren. I'm going to prep at 3. I'll just buy a charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next comes Sahala. So we have I think I'm going to cast this for 6, so 3 plus the 1 plus the 2. And I'm going to do that to I think I kind of have to do it to these. So 2, 4, 6. And I will take 1 health point damage for that. Cast or prep, and then I have 2 to spend, which I'll buy a charge with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next is Sahala again, and I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I'm going to deal 1 damage to take out that husk. I'll deal 3, 4, 5. I'll cast. Sorry. Go back a step. I'll cast this for 3 plus 1 plus 2 is 6, taking that to 27. I'll cast this for 3 plus 1 plus 1 is 5, taking it to 23. And I'll cast this for 1, which takes out that husk. I'm going to prep that, and I have 2, 4. I'm not going to prep that yet. I'm going to spend 2, gain 2 charges, and immediately spend those charges to reveal the top 3 cards of my deck, which are 1, 2, 3. I can place a spell revealed in this way into my hand. I'm going to place Force Amplifier into my hand. If there are no spells prepped to Celestial Breach, I can prep 2. I'll prep those 2. And that's my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think it's going to be enough. Next is Nemesis. So we get a husk. We swarm, place 4 husks into play. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Unleash twice, another 4 husks. And we get destroy 2 prep spells that each cost 3 or more, unleash 3 times. Ooh. It's a power 1. And that is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Next turn is Sahala. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'm going to cast Force Amplifier for 3, 4, 5, 6, which takes that to 17. Cast the Spark, which does another 3, takes it to 16, 15, 14. Prep, and then I have 3, which I'm going to spend a charge or buy a charge with. So then 2, 3, 4, 5. We need some turn order luck here. Next turn is Sahala. Nice. Cast for 3, 4, 5, 6. So that goes to 8. Cast for another 2. 6. Prep. Another 3. I'm going to just spend a charge or buy a charge with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Next is Taqren. Okay, so we'll cast for 3, takes it down to 3. Cast for 1, takes it down to 2. Planar Insight, Gift of Spirit. I'm going to... Darn. I'm going to prep that. Spend 2 on a charge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is Taqren now, we can win the game. Let's hope. Let's hope. Oh no! So we get a husk. We swarm. Gravehole suffers 5 damage, takes it to 1. Oh, unleash twice. We get another 4 husks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Unleash 3 times. Ah. So whenever we unleash, we get 2 husks, so we have to place 6 more husks. So we place 1. Carapace Queen has 15 husks in play and must place another husk into play. Gravehole suffers 1 damage instead, so we lose. That is... so what would the next turn have been? It would have been Taqren. So yeah, that was a very close game in the end. I kind of feel like I had a good setup with Sahala, a nice efficient deck. Taqren's deck felt very bloated. So I had those 2 crystals. I probably had too many gems and not enough powerful spells. Like Taqren only had those 3. I mean, I don't know. Perhaps I should have focused on trying to get these breaches opened earlier. Like if they could have been opened a couple of rounds earlier, we would have won, because they would have been doing one extra damage each. So yeah, that was an interesting game. I think we will have to have a rematch on the channel. Disappointed to lose it, especially that close. Probably should have got rid of this. Tried to focus on getting rid of this earlier by taking the health damage. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Anything I could have done differently that I haven't already mentioned. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Keep an eye on the channel, and there'll be another playthrough up hopefully again shortly. Let me know if you want me to do a rematch with Carapace Queen. But other than that, thanks for watching. I'll leave it there for today.